course, I'm Alessandro Barancelli, the head of this program, and I'm glad to introduce all the characteristics of this program and allow the participant to understand the way the program is organized, the contents, the aims of the program, the possible options open also for further specialization. So let me begin with introducing the MIB Executive. Is a 12-month program which is designed to deal with topics concerning international management, and the aim is to support the career development of those who have already a work experience, who may are in a working position, who, however, consider the opportunity of having further opportunities to boost their careers and get additional knowledge that may turn to be useful in their development, in the future career developments. As far as deciding to join an executive master, I've tried to put together some bullet points that could be useful for those who are considering if it's worth to take this move, which is certainly demanding both in terms of resources, investments, the organization of the family and work activities altogether. So we would like to make sure this is something that is worth for those who decide to join. I've tried to put together these issues which may turn to be interesting for whatever program beside the Master in International Business, which I will deal with later on. It's certainly an executive master allows to increase your job prospects, both in the position you are covering right now, or also in further opportunities, and it deals with point 3 and 4, which concern the opportunity of advancing more quickly in your career, and also to possibly reposition yourself elsewhere within your organization. Having a master qualification is also a sort of the guarantee towards recession and job cuts. Person who are more qualified will be those who are usually kept within the organization. Then it allows all over to gain higher earning potential, to develop advanced knowledge. We know nowadays how the pace of innovation requires continuous changes in the type of knowledge which is required to be fully integrated with the requirement of the organization. Certainly, it also allows to develop networking relationships, both within the same type of qualification and also across countries, and that may turn to be useful whatever the position you're covering in your current firm or in others, should you consider moving up. As far as the Master in International Business in particular, we also offer the opportunity to test the startup project that someone may have in mind, and that's something which is not offered by all programs, and it's worth because it allows to fully consider certainly an interesting move in the personal development of someone who decide possibly to set up a new company. As far as the Master International Business is concerned, we have curricula which are particularly tailored for those who are in activity which requires dealing with international markets, and we try to keep this knowledge constantly updated. All the geopolitical situation, the transformation concerning technology, the renewed requirement as far as the design of the supply chains are requiring a constant fresh up in the articulation of knowledge, and that's something companies need to deal with. There is also the need of exchanging with the faculty and industry experts who are able to transfer updated knowledge and get opportunities to support specific requirements within the class. There is a link here which allows to have some feedback from executive students who joined the program in previous years. I won't go on that. You may have the chance to access that later on once you access the recording of this presentation. How is the program organized? Is of course something that we have taken into account to allow participants to join the program while they are working. So we have two types of activities, what we call the class learning activities, and I would concentrate on the right side of the chart in the upper part, where we have the beginning of the program that is on October the 2nd, with 2 intensive weeks where we schedule the core courses, but also where we have the opportunity to start activities that allow to build teamworks and to familiarize with the campus of Università Cattolica. This is something that proved to be useful also for the activity that we are carrying on later, since we established already a relationship among the people who are joining. What is in fact a blended program, which alternate some in-presence activities. We have 12 core courses, which I will describe later on. And classes are organized on Fridays afternoon, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. and Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That goes on from October to June, beside the Christmas holidays break. We also alternate that with what we call business talks and learning labs. As a matter of fact, we have also a twin program, which is the regular class, which deals also with the international business topics. And we invite those who are interested and have the possibility to join to participate to the business talks we organize on Mondays afternoon and Tuesdays. But beside that, it might turn to be difficult for those who are working to get these days off. We have specific talks online that are scheduled in the evening, and we will record some of the business talks to allow those who cannot join in streaming to access those contents later on. We also have a study tour, which is organized within the 2 intensive weeks, where we get the participants to another town in Italy. For those who are not Italian, this is also an opportunity to learn a different business and cultural environment than Milan, which of course is a big hub as far as Italy is concerned, and is probably the city they know, and one of the motivation to join this program at Cattolica. We also have seminar and multimedia contents which are released to allow students to get some contents which help them to prepare the in-presence classes and the tests they will be required to develop. Beside these class learning activities, we have individual work integrated learning, which is articulated across two main streams. One is the coaching activity. The first sessions takes place during the intensive weeks. We want to better understand what are your goals. I was mentioning earlier why one should join an executive program. We would like to understand what are the single participant motivation. We will then provide successive meetings to assess the expectation and the development of the goals of the participants across the year. And then we will provide a final assessment which should support the participants to then leverage on the work he or she has done during the executive program in order to refocus on their professional activities. Talking about professional activities and opportunities to boost participants' careers, we have designed one other very important activity we call project work, which is an individual project that we ask participants to define at the end of the first term, and that will be developed on the second and third term, allowing the participant to get a specialization which is consistent on the specific topics they are interested about. We have, in fact, three types of project works with three different names. One is called the research program and is based on acquiring knowledge on a specific domain. A second one is what we call a consulting project, which is the opportunity to develop something which turned to be useful for the company the participant is working with, and by investigating on that issue, the participant will be able to then share these feedback to the company they work with, and that often highly appreciated within the organization. Also, the final exam is based on the project work activity. The third type of project work is the one that refers to testing a new business creation. So a startup project, which I was mentioning at the beginning of today's presentation. In that case, we will support the participant to understand what are the requirements to develop this activity, to make sure the business model is clear enough to be communicated, and also to be in line with the market requirements. Whatever the type of project work, we will appoint what we call a mentor who will be able to support the participants across this period of work, Obviously, is not someone who substitutes the participant in delivering the final report. However, it or she will be able to facilitate context, support about methodology, having access to useful relationships. That's also something very valuable in terms of career development. What are the program contents? As I said, we have 12 courses, which are divided into 5 main areas. Management is the dominant one. There are quite a few topics that you can read there, from economic and financial analysis to international banking, brand management, international finance, marketing, etc. Then we have an economics area, which helps to better understand the macroeconomic environment and the industry environment at the international level. Then we have a quantitative area, which allows to develop also techniques that are likely to optimize the design and implementation of the global supply chain management. We have the legal area, focusing on understanding the international legal systems and supporting in developing international contracting. Then we have a cross-disciplinary area. It's a matter of fact, this is the only topic which is delivered across the 2 terms, the one starting in October and ending at mid-December, and the other one starting in January and ending in April. While the other courses are distributed in one semester or in another. Social skill and emotional intelligence helps to better understand the way you could integrate within your organization. You can exchange with different cultures. As a matter of fact, we have a high international group of participants. So far, we have already some 10 nationalities of people who have enrolled, and that's something that turns to be useful for whatever activity in international business you will be involved. I've already mentioned the business talks, the project work, and the coaching activity that you can read on the right side of the screen. Should you have questions, please do not hesitate to take the microphone. While sharing the screen, I'm not able to read the chat, so unless you can't avoid writing, please do not hesitate to ask questions. Otherwise, I'll be happy to answer to any issue I haven't covered or I haven't covered enough to meet your expectation at the end of the presentation. So do not be shy. This is your day. We have designed the presentation to offer the better possible understanding of the program. We have a faculty which combines academic and research funded skills with experience, practical activities, both in Europe and in other parts of the world. So we have really a mix of people who are able to bring the updated skills I was mentioning in the beginning. In particular, the international business environment is very volatile nowadays, and we need to constantly keep an eye on updating what we are sharing with the participants. I'm also talking about sharing because talking about the executive class, the aim is also making as much as possible the opportunities of exchange within the class and sharing personal views and feedbacks and experience with the one of others, getting feedbacks from those who have different perspective, both because they are working in different areas of the firm or are simply coming from different countries with different cultures, and that's something which is a particular value in an international master program. We have quite a few relationships. If you have the patience to access our internet site, we'll recall the internet site at the end of the presentation. We have a section that we called MIB Business Network, where we have some 120 companies altogether who are collaborating on a regular basis with the Master in International Business. These are just a few of them. What is the type of collaboration that they are providing? Well, first of all, we invite them to these seminars and business talks I was mentioning earlier. Some people from these companies are also joining or have joined or suggest the program to colleagues. We have some of the mentors who are coming from these companies, and depending on the type of activity, could be a key person in charge for supporting participants. Talking about the project work, there is also the opportunity to get information on specific industries that are collected with the support of these companies. So this is turned to be a particularly fruitful relationship we have developed over the year. Of course, that counts also for the regular class, which is the one that is devoted to postgraduate students. Since there, we also organize internships, what we call fieldwork activities with involvement of small groups of people. So there is a variety of relationships that we have developed over the years with these organizations. Some of them are also actively involved in the study tours I was mentioning earlier. So that really is something that is enriching the offer of the program. Why do we offer a coaching support? Well, of course, if you're joining an executive program, you probably find yourself fulfilling one of the goals that I've mentioned in the beginning. However, what is your real goal? Is it accelerating your career in the department you're working with? You're looking for opportunities to move elsewhere? Should it be in terms of geography or should it be in terms of departments? What is your real goal? So we try to understand that, discuss if necessary, advising whenever required. And that have helped several students to find their way of find a new way in their careers. And we took some of the quotes from these students. We'll mention also at the end the opportunity of eventually meeting some of them should you be interested. How do you access the Master in International Business executive class? Well, we have a selection process. It's a matter of fact, we have also a deadline which is approaching, and as you can see on the right side of the slide, is September the 4th, so not too much time left. There is an online platform where you could upload the required documents, which are mainly your bio plus some certification concerning your English language proficiency, your previous studies record. We have a selection based on 4 items. Those listed on the left side of the chart: consistency of the previous studies and post-bachelor degree working experience with the objective of the master outline. So are you someone who's thinking about a career in international business? If yes, that's consistent, of course, with the MIB. If you see yourself more in a professional career within a local environment, probably this is not the right program for you. So what's your motivation? We want to better understand what brought you within this application, and this will be the starting point also to provide the coaching activity I was mentioning earlier. The program is offered in English, so of course you need to have a minimum level that allows you to write an exchange in English, which will of course, highly improved across the year you spend working in English and exchanging with people from all over the world, where the English language is a matter of communication. Then we are also having keeping an eye on your previous academic career and the activities you have been performing better or worse in your previous studies. In order to qualify to access the Master International Business Executive class, you need to score at least 60 points out of 100. And of course, that applies to reach the minimum number of participants, the maximum number of participants, then should that take place before the end of the application, we will just consider those who are performing better than others as far as the selection procedure is concerned. What you could expect joining a Master in International Business? Well, first of all, you are in a field which is central in any industry. In particular, if you are Italian or European, the expectation of growth as far as domestic market in future years are really modest, and opportunities of development will take place across countries. So should you be involved in international business, you'll be at the core of whatever organization, providing knowledge and support which helps your organization to grow faster and sometimes to survive, since talking about small and medium-sized companies, their performance on international market tend to be critical for their survival. As I said, we want to integrate skills and knowledge you already have based on your previous studies and your working experience, and bring the most updated techniques and information that may help you to be updated with the labor market requirements. We will try to help your interpersonal skills, developing knowledge and understanding of working in an international environment, exchanging with different culture, which tend to be particularly useful for those who have been living and studying just in one country before joining the program. What about scholarship and financial aid? Well, first of all, let's mention also the cost of the program, which is 14,000 euro divided in 4 different installments. There is a small discount for the person who studied already at Università Cattolica and joined the alumni organization here, and they will enjoy a reduction of 500 euros. For those who are coming from different countries and with specific background, we have also provided scholarships. That applies in particular as far as the resources made available by the master itself to non-Italian participants. Overall, the Università Cattolica has got some opportunities to support and financing the studies. One is the opportunity to get some resources through the banking system with discounted interest rate. Then those who are coming from specific Italian regions are eligible for support that is offered to continuous learning, and that's something which could sometimes provide a substantial reduction on the tuition fees. For the step we have taken this year is allowing those who are joining this program to have a further specialization once they have concluded the 12-month periods, joining some electives. There will be 5 altogether that we are offering here in Milan. This is a new opportunity which will be offered beside what we call the international exchange, the international focus experience, allowing those who are interested. Of course, this is not mandatory. Once you are enrolling to the Master in International Business, you are enrolling to what we call the fast track, which is the 12-month program I've described so far. However, some participants are also interested in adding an international experience, which could be declined until last year, taking some courses offered by partner universities in different countries. But this year we have also the opportunity to complete these learning process, selecting some electives offered at Università Cattolica. What are the topics? They are pretty various and could meet the requirement of different participants. One focus on Asian markets. We have developed an agreement with the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam, and we are partnering to deliver what we call the Vietnam Business Management Program, which is organized to support those who are interested in developing opportunities, in particular on this market, which is the second fast growing market as far as the Asia Pacific area is concerned, just after China. By the way, this is also the 50-year anniversary of the relationship of the economic exchange between Italy and Vietnam. So this is also something which has been particularly supported by both government in these days. By the way, the Vietnam president is in an official visit in Italy. There have been missions by Italian Association of Firms in Vietnam, and this is something we will help to support in the future. This project has been also based on the research activity. The Center of Research called ICRIM, which stands for International Center of Research and International Management, which is the think tank which has designed and keep renewing the master in international business, has developed over the years. So we have a lab on Vietnam, and we have carried several projects concerning Vietnam. Within the agreement we are making with the Italian Chamber of Commerce, there is also the commitment by ICRIM to provide a report on European Vietnamese relationships once a year. The second project is also with a first-class partner, which is Fondazione Luciano Pavarotti. In this case, we deal with another industry which is particularly lively nowadays and was boosting after the pandemic, which is the one concerning live sports and entertainment event management. It applies to different fields, sport, of course, but music, concert, opera, and many others, where we have some of the best representative of the industry who are joining the program and will transfer knowledge to those who are interested in this industry. That goes back to what I was mentioning earlier about the opportunity also to reposition the participants in different fields than the one they are currently working with. Then we have something related to new technology, in particular digital technology, and in particular artificial intelligence. This is a program we have designed with Microsoft, and it sees also the collaboration of other organizations. As a matter of fact, some of the invitations we have shared also were distributed through the list of members of some of the organization you can see mentioned here. And the idea is to understand how business model can be influenced and supported by the use of artificial intelligence. Another field is about some of the most known and important industries as far as the export activity of Italian firms are concerned. We are focusing here on the luxury industry. Often we talk about 4 Fs of luxury, including food, furniture, fashion, and Ferrari, which is somehow used to represent the field of automotive and mechanics. In this case, we concentrate on 3 of the 4 Fs, and in particular food, fashion, and furniture, but the the core of this elective is not in describing these industries, rather to understand what are the best practice, innovation that could be transferred from one industry to another in order to improve the capability to compete on international markets. It's about brand stretching, it's about innovation to protect intellectual property. It's about a new way of accessing international market. There too, we are partnering with the Stylegate, which is a boutique consulting company specialized in the field of luxury, and we will have some of the most prominent speakers in the industry across the world. Finally, we have another topic which is quite relevant for many firms, in particular in the manufacturing world. However, that applies also to services, which is the decision of where to locate activity of the value chain in terms of innovation, improvement, and performance development. The decision of where to locate activity is a strategic decision, which is often be presented in terms of cost reduction or access to raw materials of specific markets. However, what we are arguing here is the fact that each company has to find its own specific positioning across international markets. And depending on the segment, the industry, the type of organization, it will be useful to understand what makes useful being in one part or another of the world. Of course, nowadays there are also new constraints that we forgot about over the last 50 years, which are also the geopolitical issues. So we are talking about topics such as friendshoring, which is representing the fact that your location decisions are also highly influenced by political issues, which are sometimes taking the lead on business factors. We have recently developed a partnership with one of the organizations that are part of the business network of the Master in International Business, which is Accenture, and in particular the association of the Accenture alumni, and that will prove to be useful, we think, both to provide some of the activities that I was mentioning earlier. We will draw from the expertise of some of the alumni Accenture members when it comes about appointing mentors or speakers. Some of the members of the alumni Accenture have been top managers worldwide. And let me share with you a short video which shows what is the spirit of the Accenture Global Alumni Network.
Life isn't a single-player game. Sometimes you help others on their way. And sometimes others help you. Because when success is shared, it grows. Now, all Accenture alumni can stay connected through one of the biggest alumni programs in the world. With all the knowledge, inspiration, and connections you need to continue building your career. Because moving on doesn't mean missing out. Stay connected and grow your success at AccentureAlumni.com.
Again, about the way the program is delivered, it's definitely offered in a blending format, which combines in-presence lessons, some of them concentrated in 2 weeks at the beginning of the program and 2 weeks on the way. But apart from that, we will have classes taking place on Friday evening and Saturday morning. We should allow everybody to be able to join. We had in the past people also from different countries who were not moving to Italy, but who were joining regularly for the classes with a, say, 1 hour flight, which won't to be too expensive, knowing in advance and be able to book, to reserve low-cost flights. We complement that, talking about the in-presence classes, with audiovisual materials, both in short videos, in streaming activities concerning the seminars and business talks I was mentioning earlier. It's all designed to make feasible maintaining your current job in the organization you're working with, and investing in your education. Of course, that requires a commitment on your side. Is not a piece of cake. It's very demanding. It's a matter of fact, the Master International Business worth as many as 70 credits, which is 10 more than the usual metrics for 1 year course in whatever university program across Europe. So that recognize the fact that you have a workload which is particularly relevant, but is possible to be carried on while continuing working, and we have some 10 years experience on that to support the fact that other have done it. I'm convinced new students will do well as well. Should you be interested to know more from people who have already joined the program, we have appointed what we call MIB ambassadors. So we have over the year people in some 50 different countries across the world who are likely to exchange about their experience, give advice, just have an informal exchange with new candidates. So you can find some information also from the internet site. I will mention in a moment. You have some of them who left videos or some of these quotes that you can see here on the chart. So should you consider that useful, we are more than happy to organize something to facilitate this exchange. I'm glad I can see Paola Corna Pellegrini among the audience. I would mention also the fact that we have developed a group of professionals that we call the advisory board of the program. And 1 year ago, we have started exchanging with them, and the purpose is trying to get some feedback from their experience, trying to improve and update constantly the program. So that's something that it's worth to mention and contributes to keeping the program updated.
Thank you, Alessandro. I'm happy to be here and to continue to support MIB in its development toward the needed competencies to be built to have a generation of managers able to ensure to their companies internationalization, but also digital transformation, and also all the sensitiveness around the topics of ESG, generally speaking. So I believe that the verticals you have presented in terms of collaboration and topics are very interesting. It's something that I believe if I were a manager, I would appreciate a lot. And also being a company, maybe what you could cover is how a company can build some maybe dedicated programs for their managers. If this is foreseen within this MBA, executive MBA program, or if it is something additional that can be built together with designed together with the company.
Absolutely, we that's something we are particularly keen about, and we are trying also to develop some relationship with the human resource managers who are those in a better position to consider opportunity of collaboration. There are a couple of relationships in this direction that we have established recently, and we are keen to also orientate some of the electives I was mentioning. Should there be a specific interest in some fields, talking about industry or skills by some partner companies?